I'm going to walk you through a strategy that we've used internally that could help you get your own villa in Dubai for free. Now, this isn't no clickbait promise. This is a hypothetical strategy based on capital leverage, payment structuring, and doing things in the right order. But it's all real maths, and it's exactly what some of my high net worth investors are doing right here in the market today. Now, for this example, we've got 20 million dirhams in cash, and we're going to be purchasing an off-plan villa for 10 million dirhams cash, whilst leveraging the payment plan to do renovations over the next 3 years, which will generate you enough profit so that you have bought this villa for technically free. So without further ado, let's break it down. So step number one is finding an off-plan property for 10 million dirhams. Now, if you know anything about Dubai, you know there are some great opportunities, especially in the villa market, where you can buy a good property for 10 million. Now, the key here is to find a payment plan that suits this model. So we're gonna look at a 60-40 plan. Again, it's something that is common in the market, so we will be able to find this. And the completion date of 3 years, meaning that over year 1, year 2, and year 3, we're gonna be paying this property off. Year 1, we'll be looking at around 34%. This is generally what we take from payment plans, and this is what it usually looks like. So 34% is 3.4 million. Year 2, you'll need to pay 1.5 million. And year 3, well, you'll be paying your last installments and then your final installment on handover, which is around 5.5 million dirhams. So all these account to 10 million dirhams. What I wanted to do here as well, rather than just looking at where we can make money on the renovations, which I'm going to get into, we're going to look at what you can actually make on this property. Now, 12% year on year on an off-plan purchase, let's say on a 4-bedroom villa, that is not unrealistic at all, especially if you're buying into a premium master community. So in this scenario, we've assumed as well that your growth is going to be 36%, which is going to amount to 3.6 million dirhams in profit. Now, if we look at the off-plan market, when people oversell you the fact that, you can make this kind of money in 1 year or 2 years, a lot of the time it's extremely unrealistic. You have to wait until the handover. So we're going to use this scenario of 36% when you get your keys, maybe even 6 months after you get your keys as well, while the community develops a little bit more and people start to move there. I think 30% is very conservative and very realistic. Okay, now let's get into the next part, because this is where it gets interesting. As I said, we're using this scenario as if you had 20 million dirhams in cash. Now, in year 1, we only used 3.4 million of that. So we've got 15.8 left. So let's do something with that. Let's leverage it. Let's double your money. Let's get it working for us. This is what we do. This is how we build the strategies. So if we look here, we purchase a property for 13 million dirhams, okay? And the renovation cost is going to cost us 2.8. Now, if you're wondering where I've got these figures on, they're based on actual renovations that we are currently looking at, different opportunities that we're currently looking at. So they're not made up at all. They're based on real-time figures that we do when we're analyzing these projects. And again, one thing I want to note is that, we're not going to break down all of the fees and the entire fee structure in this scenario, because it does get, quite complicated if you start doing it on the whiteboard. This is something we take care of with you personally. But if we look at this, we purchased a property for 13. We spent 2.8 million dirhams, bringing us up to a total with 15.8. With a timeline of 10 months to actually renovate and resell this property, we're aiming to achieve an ROI of 18%, leaving us with a profit of 2.8 million dirhams. So you can see here we've used the profit of 18%. This is generally the return that we aim to get for our clients when we're looking at renovating properties at this price point, okay? Now this leaves us with a cash in hand of 18.7. Okay, so we started with 15.8, now we've got 18.7. So now we've got another 2 years to go again twice. Okay, so one thing to note, this has all been done in year 1. When we purchase the off-plan villa, that's generally step 1, so we can sort of see where we're at. And then we're going looking for the renovation project. How soon we do these two together really depends on what opportunities we find. Of course, we'd love to be able to just give somebody an opportunity the same day, but it takes time sometimes. This is just to give you an example. The difference between when you start the renovation after the off-plan, generally we want to do it as quick as possible, but that's how it looks. Now, let's get into year 2 and year 3. Okay, so now we're into year 2. And as I said before, we've accumulated now 18.7 million dirhams in cash. So we're going to use a similar formula. Now, but this time, we've got a little bit more capital to play with. So we purchase a slightly larger villa for 15.4 million dirhams, okay? Which means, of course, with a slightly larger floor plate, bigger landscaping needs doing, we need to spend a little bit more. So we're using the scenario of spending 3.3 million dirhams. Again, bringing our total cost to 18.7. Again, with the timelines that we propose, it's based off what we've done and what we see in the market. So 10 to 11 months to purchase, renovate, and resell the property is realistic if you do the job right. That's the biggest thing there. Doing the job right and buying the right product for the right price point and not overspending on anything. That's where the technicalities come into it. But that's something that we obviously do for a living, so that's what we're good at. Now, I like to keep the ROI the same in these scenarios because it just makes it quite realistic in terms of, what we're achieving, because 18% is achievable. And in most cases, we are trying to get that sort of 20, 22% and above, but we need to be conservative because we don't want to overpromise. So 18% leaves us with a profit of 3.38 million dirhams, okay? So what does that leave us with? Well, now we've got 22 million. Okay, so year 2, right, we've achieved another renovation. Okay, we've successfully sold it and our pot's just growing. Now, because our pot is growing, our profit is increasing and we're getting closer to that free villa that we want. Okay, so that off-plan villa, it's almost paid for. Okay, so year 3, again, I'm gonna break it down pretty simply. Same scenario, 22 million total cash that we have now. We purchased for 18. It's a bigger villa, maybe something on the golf course, maybe something on a lake, maybe something, a bit more premium near the waterfront. Now we've got a bigger spend on the renovation. It's going to cost us 4 million, again, with an all-in of 22. Now we're going to say it's 12 months because the villa's getting bigger, things are changing, it's a bit of a bigger project. Maybe we're doing more structural work. We need to enhance it that little bit more to achieve that 18%, once again, leaving us with a profit of 3.96. Okay, so we almost made 4 million dirhams on that last project. Okay, so that's incredible. Okay, so now we're at the end of the 3 years and we've successfully completed 3 renovation projects, each conservatively making 18% ROI and accumulating each one. We've now made 10.14 million dirhams. Again, there are many other factors to play into this. There's many layers to it, but this is just to give you a general oversight. Okay, because now this 10 million dirham villa, well, actually, we've leveraged the money, we've used the money over the last 3 years and been able to actually pay this off, okay, with even a little bit extra. And now you've got your villa for free, plus, you've got all of this money left. And what you can keep doing, you just keep going and going and going. We've worked on these strategies with many clients and it's pretty straightforward, Every year, we just try to go a little bit bigger, a little bit better, and then we just keep accumulating this money and keep going and going. Because time and time again, I see so many people get sold off plan and put all of their money into that, okay? Even if you are diversifying across apartments, penthouses, villas, townhouses, that's fine. But, we're in a market now which is definitely getting more competitive. And we like to build strategies for our clients, especially from overseas, who are looking at this market. And, people come to me and say, yeah, Joe, it's good I can buy a bit of off-plan, wait 3 years, but I don't want to put all my money into that and then wait 3 years and then, do nothing in between then. I think it's very important as an investor to be looking at different avenues to invest in this market. Now, it's not as straightforward as that all the time, but we're here to actually break it down and help you out to do this. We've just taken on 2 more projects and we just sold 2 projects recently, and we're looking at accumulating more and more and more for our investors, and we're building these strategies in real time. So it's very easy for us to show you exactly what's going on. We're a very open and honest, transparent company that do that, and we'd love to help you out. I'm Joe Butler. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you are interested in learning how we can build you a personalized strategy, just book the call below. You'll be speaking with me or one of my team, and we'll go through the numbers. We'll invite you for some lunch. We'll pick you up. We'll take you around, show you what's going on in the market, and help you out from start to finish. Very much look forward to it. See you in the next video.